People who write your instead of your, what do you do with all the time you saved? Typing in this font. It saves an extra breath. To finish, I love you when I die, as I speak my last words to my kids. Your equals you are. Your equals in regards to possessing something. Your equals capital of ancient Mesopotamia. Tangentially related. I received a resume last month that had used you in one of the skill descriptions. It was a big time saver. Not only did the applicant keep the resume to one page, but they didn't even need to come in for an interview. Send an offensive meme to the brothers. Writing you instead of you. I respond to these time wasting questions on Reddit. Why say many word when few word do trick? Write my comment twice. Write my comment twice. Criticize people on their usage of your and yeah. Your fault you don't use a flexible word like your. Not your business. Keep people from merging on the highway. Correct everyone else's grammar. Plan overthrowing the government and becoming a ruthless dictator. Your and have different connotations. Same with you and you. I usually do it to give off a less serious tone through text. Some of us grew up in a time where you could only send so many characters in one message. And besides, you can't fucking win. If I use more advanced words, some people say I'm being pretentious. If I use more basic speak, then I'm being an idiot. When you can't win, no matter what you do, you end up just doing what you want. So sometimes I use text speak, and sometimes I use fancy words, and all of you that want to complain can suck my ovaries. Andy Bernard. Kevin, I appreciate what you're trying to do. Kevin Malone. Thank Andy Bernard. Here, we have a word code the same way we have a dress code. And what we are talking about is basically the speech equivalent to just wearing underpants. Sometimes words, you know, need use, but need for talk. Kevin Malone, but save time. More success. Jim Halpert, does it save time though? Cause we've been here for about an hour. Kevin Malone, no me fault. Pam Beasley, Kevin, at most you're saving a microscopic amount of time. Kevin Malone, many small time make big time. Pam Beasley, what are you gonna do with all this time? Kevin Malone, see world. Pam Beasley, Kevin, you cannot possibly save enough time to see the world. Jim Halpert, Kevin, are you saying see the world or see world? Kevin Malone, see world. Oceans. Fish. Jump. China. Jim Halpert, no, see. Right there, that's the problem with your method. Cause I still don't know if you're saying see world or see the world, and it's taking a lot of time to explain it. Kevin Malone, fine. I'll talk normally. Your mom. Well, I have more time for activities. I like to have fun and my life, so now I have more time to do so. Why waste time, say a lot word when few do trick? HBU mate, you're probably still typing as we speak. Comment on the daily post asking this exact question. Work a full-time job and part-time job, so I can afford the basics in the US. So I'll cut out letters as I see fit. Many small time make big time. Masturbate. I built time machine to go back and change the entire English language. Sometimes, I just want to talk about Sumerian city-states in Mesopotamia with ziggurats. Don't think there was ever a city-state called Ur. I'm wasting time on picking the right emoji, thumbs up. Sorry to be that guy, but people who write your instead of your, what do you do with all that time you have saved? Anyone who does that is a sinner and will pay back those precious milliseconds in hell. Unless it was written in the context of writing Dagathur, in which case it is excused as Dagathur is incorrect. Typically I read an extra chapter out of my book because of it. I don't understand why people still type like that. We all have full keyboards now. I understood why back when we had to hit buttons 11 times to spell your or 14 times to spell out your, but come on. Establish communism. It adds up. Cry. I beat the system by going to my iOS settings and hitting general, keyboard, text replacement, plus your goes on bottom, your goes on top. Then, every time you type your, it immediately gets replaced by your. I saw 3 seconds when I type I don't do it that often, but whatever. So I browse Reddit, start a family, buy a car, spend time with my family, look at the sun, and think that of what to do with the rest of my 2 seconds. I've said you're approximately 12 times with my keyboard and 337 times via text. I'm not a very social person. It takes me approx 0.17 seconds for each letter I type via text and 0.04 seconds via keyboard. Therefore I've saved a total of 57.29 seconds in text alone. Adding the additional 0.48 seconds is a total of 57.77 seconds. Almost an entire minute, of which I have used up a little over 30% typing this post to you. I hope you feel special. Write out okay instead of okay. I mostly use it in the Nokia days, since typing out your inner T9 keyboard is a pain in the ass. OP, I'm assuming you are born during the smartphone uprising. Back in the day, when we texted, we had keypads that required a lot of input. On a serious note, when texting I use your as a replacement for your but not your. If I'm trying to make a joke, or flirting or whatever it's usually your for your, but if it's in a serious context I use ya. Type more words, like ain't instead of are ain't or gonna instead of going to. It's helpful when playing games and needing to type to your team. That small second can make a difference between being able to hit the HP pot and dying. Well, to be perfectly honest, in my humble opinion, of course without offending anyone who thinks differently from my point of view, but also by looking into this matter in a different perspective, and without being condemning of one's views, and by trying to make it objectified, and by considering each and every one's valid opinion, I honestly forgot what I wanted to say. Laugh at all the people who think shorthand in informal speech is somehow a perversion of the English language, when it's been done for centuries in one form or another. I hate it when people write through instead of through, but this is apparently an unpopular opinion, based on the number of downvotes I got last time I brought this up. I solved world hunger. What do you do in your free time? Oh wait, you don't have any. Plus, all the calories saved, and wear and tear avoided on those typing thumbs. Pushes glasses further up face. Actually, it would be your, because your is something you'd say in a you sentence. Example, you're beautiful / you're beautiful. People who type your instead of your who are not in their 30s do not understand why it was done in the first place. Character limit in text messaging used to be a thing. That is where it evolved. If I said I want to see you tonight, it was because I was trying to keep my characters as few as possible whilst still getting the point across. For some reason this carried on over to the platform where we no longer need to stick to the limits but still do. So to answer your question, I typed your instead of your because it saved me money in the long run. I specifically saved time by not worrying about what I do with my time and my mannerisms, which are designed to trigger this exact behavior, albeit a paradigm, but not mine to be ruffled from. Nothing. That's why I type your instead of your, so I could do nothing instead of pressing more keys, because doing nothing is what us lazy people love doing over other things. I used to use a lot of texting slang for a few reasons, time being one of them, because I didn't have a corded keyboard, and I had to hit buttons 2 to 3 times to get the letter I wanted. It also saved space back when it wanted me to make an entirely separate message for over 160 characters. I was on a plan that limited my messages and minutes as well, so all that slang actually made my monthly allotment stretch a little more. Now it's just become force of habit. Back in the days it saved you much time, as you wouldn't have to click multiple times at the same button until you reached the letter intended. Also it saved you money as messages were paid by the characters. Recently learned that the youths think it's passé to use punctuation in text messages. From someone who believes firmly in the need for the Oxford comma, the kids are definitely not alright. It's just a way of writing that's typical for a casual text conversation. Sometimes it actually does save time, like in a fast moving group convo where you have to cram in a quick reply before people switch to a new topic. In a split second, you accomplish more than you are accounting for. For example, keeping your statement flowing nicely, etc. The real-time savings come from substituting your for ya. We are talking about saving 4 keystrokes here. I only wish I could bring myself to look like an idiot with shitty grammar. I probably would have gotten a doctorate with all the time that would have saved. Funny joke, not being a wet towel. But if you were texting back in the days of flip phones, this kind of shortcut really did save a lot of time. I'm so old I had a rotary dial phone as a teen in my room. My best friend had a 0 in his number, and if I screwed up dialing once or twice it just took forever.